Hello and welcome everyone in another episode of Researcher Celebrity. Today we have Dr. Ashok Pathera with us. A brief introduction of Dr. Ashok. He has done his bachelor's in life sciences from Kurukshetra University and master's in food technology from Guru Jambheshwar University. For PhD, he attended Sant Longewal Institute of Engineering and Technology and earned his PhD in food engineering and technology. In between, he had industrial experience, then post PhD joined Shulani University Solon as assistant professor for food technology, and then also worked at MIT University. Currently, he is at CSIR Institute of Himalayan Bioresources Technology, also known as IHBT, Palampur. With this brief introduction, we'll say thank you so much, Dr. Ashok, for taking time out for this conversation.
Thank you for having me.
We always start these conversations that how and when you decided that you want to become a researcher.
It is a bit difficult question for me because at initial education level, I haven't thought about this. So even when I switched to science education after the metric class in the school, so initially I started with the mathematics, but eventually I turned into the biology and passed with the biology background from school, and then joined the college and then the university. And after my MSc, I was a little bit confused that should I go for the industrial job or should I prepare for the higher education for the PhD or being in a research journey. So I was confused, and the many of the student at that time or even in the current age, there may be some confusion that we should opt for the placements or we should go for the PhD. So I took the placement option, and with the help of my seniors, I joined the industry. And in that time, some of my batchmates and my seniors, and they were in the PhD journey, and they were doing research in various institute and the universities. And I was in contact with all of them. So, but after time, I thought that I should go for the PhD. So after a research industrial experience of 2 years, I tried and I got admission in the Slight Longowal. It's a MHRD Institute, Government of India, and then joined the PhD. And after completion of coursework, I got an opportunity to work in a research project in the Veterinary University Hisar. So I joined there, and after that, I also carried out my PhD research in that university also.
Nice. So you took your sweet time before committing to PhD. This is kind of the heart for all of these researcher celebrity conversations that you, before committing to PhD, you make yourself 100% sure that this is the path you really want to take. You have already worked in industry, had tasted how it feels like, because there is always a conversation about industrial research where and academic research. So what were the key factors that you gave up your job in industry and then joined PhD?
Actually, these are not different things that academic research is different or industrial research is different in my point of view. Uh, a strong skill set is required in the industrial research, and because sometimes we may thought that these are different. So because in industry we cannot tolerate the losses, loss of time, loss of money, or loss of any other asset. But in academic journey, so a student may thought that it's my time, it will be my personal loss, not loss to the organization. But this thought process is wrong. So there is also losses, and generally the losses occur in the academic research. It may be time loss or the loss of money or the loss of any other resources. But a skill set or the mindset is required. So at industry experience, we were doing the small projects. Projects like they were the problem based. If in any process we are facing some problem, so we plan the experiment, we collect the data, and based on the data, we make the decision. So we were doing the small projects in the industry as well, and in every industry, uh, there were strong quality teams, and we have learned many things in that industrial experience also. And when I turned to the academic journey, when I started my PhD, so those skill sets or those learnings are with me. So they help me a lot about that to avoid the possible losses in my PhD research.
In a way, it is better to have that perspective because, as you mentioned, in academia, if a fresh master's student join the PhD, they some most of the times they just miss this part of how they count the pricing of every experiment they do and what it costs, which is essential that when you have your own lab, it helps you big time to make all those analysis. Either it is um proposing your fund for your research or for your grant. So one thing you mentioned about the stronger skill set that you earned in your industrial experience before you joined your PhD. Then let's talk about the PhD in detail, that how that journey went for you.
Uh, at initial level, in India, we first semester or first 5 6 months we have the coursework. So we went for the coursework. We passed our courses which we have obtained, and after that we started, or during the coursework, we started on the planning the proposal for the PhD tenure, that what we are going to work. So I have started with a proposal, but after 1 year, somehow it didn't work, and we have to work on the another proposal. And after 1 year, my proposal was accepted. It's a process when the expert come and there will be presentations, and after that I have started working on that proposal. So at initial level, we were also not sure that we what we are going to do in our PhD research. But when you go through the some, we can say, the expert advice from the various professors of the departments, or from your guides, or even from your seniors, or the some juniors which were in this research journey. So then after almost 1 year, we have decided that what we are going to work, and that after the proposal is decided, then we started research, and it almost took me around 4 years to complete all the lab work and all the compilation of the data. And because there is the essential conditions to publish research papers in the good journals, so it also took some more times. And after a almost period of after 5 years, I got my degree in hand.
Great. So we'll talk about the expert advice, as you mentioned about the committee members or peers, with that the first year of research, like yes, you were doing your coursework, some things did not work. And for all the audience, we will say that sometimes whenever they say that don't stuck to an idea for your PhD, this is exactly what it means. As Dr. Ashok mentioned, that the initial project did not work out the way it was supposed to be or hypothesized, and then they have to change it based on the comments from the experts. Either they are the committee members, your PhD committee, or they are your peers. This is one thing which we always say, that in research, the hypothesis for the grants is different, but for PhD, you have to have the publications, as you mentioned, Dr. Ashok, that before graduating, you have to have some publications, and for that, you have to have some kind of results which you can formulate into a publication. So, based on those things which did not work out well for you, and then later on after modification, which worked out for you, if you can share your experience with our audience here, that how they should approach when things are not working.
Actually, initially I haven't thought about this, but after a time, I thought that my preliminary or the feasibility study were weak. That before starting any time, before starting any work, we must go for the feasibility study. So in any organizations which we are working, we may have certain facilities, we have certain advantage or some disadvantage as well. So we have to work out on the feasibility, that what is feasible or not, and it is going to work in the decided timeline or not. So at initial level, I haven't gone through these kind of the situations. So, and after planning a proposal, then I did the feasibility study and came to know that this work is going to be a kind of a time loss for me. And my guide suggested me to revise the proposal or have to think on another problem. And after that time, also I have joined the another organization in a funded research project. So my whole lab facilities, they were also be also changed. That now I am in a livestock product technology laboratory, and the entire facilities, they are different. So I have to plan again, and this time I have done the feasibility study accurately, and all the other things from the help of the advisor also. Say they went correct. And at initial level, when any researcher or the PhD student enter in the university, so it's kind of like a free bird situation. So you are free, and you have to present your thought process, your plan. Means you have given some time. So, and we have taken all those times. We have uh, we can say after 1 years we have nothing in our hand. Then with the help of our learnings from the past 1 years, I did again planning. So then it went okay.
So, this is another key point which we always say, that having those feasibility studies, that you know what is the infrastructure which is available, what are the skills or like assisted with these infrastructures and collaborations you need for answering the research question you have for your PhD. And based on that, make amalgamation, the perfect amalgamation of all of this, when you know, then you can come up with a real project which is realistic. You can achieve that in that duration, because sometimes you might be able to achieve it in 5 years, but if your target is to graduate in 3 years, then you have to modify that project accordingly. And that's what you mentioned too. Now, when we say that, okay, that learning from the first year, when things were not working, you learned that, okay, now how to change it or navigate the path for the future PhD. After the PhD, what were the things which were going in your head at the first?
After PhD, I was on the same situation. When was I in the after MSc? Again, I was confused that I should go for the industry job or I should go for the academics. And it took some time to think over this confusion. And with the help of several advisors or the several senior, I came to a decision that I should go for the academics. And then I started looking for the opportunities. And after my PhD, means in 2017, I joined the Sully University as an assistant professor in food technology. and then started my academic journey. And after that, I switched one university, and also now it's a kind of an organization which is a research organization. So uh, it was a difficult situation, or the means a confusion for me after PhD as well, because there were several factors which decide that what types of the job you should opt, or what is your requirements, because ultimately any job we are getting are living from that, we are getting money which fulfill our requirements. So for any educated people, or for any people with whatever his or her educations, so if they are starting any job, so they must earn a good amount so that they can fulfill their basic needs and requirements. So because in academics the situations are hard even now, and at that time also, so there were differences in the salary structures, or differences in the other conditions as well also. So in industry you may have a faster growth, but you have a more tough life than the academic. So there are many factors which you can think on that what kind of the job profile you should go. And these are means the choices are different, means the preferences, you may prefer the different thing, and any other person may prefer the different thing. So these are individual specific, that what are their wants, what are their thought process, and how they expect themselves in future timeline, 5 years, 10 years, and on. Because we can't compare yourself with a person who is not in your domain, who is not doing job in a similar organization, who is not in a same country, or not in a same environmental conditions, or like that. So there are pros and cons for both.
Absolutely. And I think this is something which we always talk in these conversations, that the first thing before joining a PhD, you should have clear in your mind that what do you really want to do with that PhD. As Dr. Ashok mentioned, you have to have your priorities set, that what are your priorities. And based on that, then you choose the path which makes you happy and keeps you ongoing, because research gives enough challenges. And if you are not passionate about it, and never giving up attitude is what it tests all the time. Never mind you are in industry or in academia, research tests you everywhere, in the way that if that is something which keeps you awake for a while, and then every day you are very optimistic that okay, today I'll go to the lab, I'll handle this problem using different troubleshooting methods. This is, you can do it for the rest of your life, or whatever the time you have committed yourself to do or to be in research. These are the things which comes out. And also having this idea of okay, now let me ask Dr. Ashok, what were your ideas or methods to do or navigate your path during those times when the things were not working well? Because it's not only in PhD, research always give you this challenge.
Actually, initially, I thought that I must get help from the seniors, or my fellow researchers, or who are around me. So it is a good thing, but sometimes there were not possible solutions. So we have to work on that. But I thought that there should be a person uh, who should be always there to help anyone. And because if I in my lab, if I have two seniors, three seniors, or I have a my professors, or any other senior colleagues, so I thought that they must be they must have gone through all the problem, but it is not a similar case. The problem you are facing, it may not be a case for the another person. And ultimately, I came to know that for many problems or many situations, we have to work out at our own level, because of a similar problem, there may be the different solutions for the different individuals in their different situations or conditions. Because in research, when we are involved with many people, so because we human beings have different behaviors, so in different behavioral conditions, and how they turned out and how they deal with the situations, so the solutions may be different for the different peoples. And after a long time, I came to know that if I need a solution for any my question or a problem, so it's my duty to learn that, and no one is going to help in the end, because everybody is happy to help if they have the ready answer. But on your part, they are not going to do the homework. So I made a one principle that if I have a question, that then I have to find the answer.
Absolutely.
And second thing, I opted or I adopted that if anyone is coming to me and he or she is asking a question or asking a solution for the problem, then it's my duty to make it learn first and then make them understand. So it's a kind of a two-step method for learning for me. If I need answer of my question, then I must learn. And if anyone wants a answer for his or her question, then I must learn that thing. So that process helped me a lot in my domain, or the and persons around me, they helped me a lot, because whenever any came to me that I need the information about this, so I took some time, or I said that today I'm busy, so I'll tell you tomorrow, or maybe day after tomorrow. So in that time, I'll make it understand to me, and then I replicate to the others. So these methods work a lot.
That's a great mentoring style also. Because as you mentioned, like owning your research, that this is like whatever capacity or in whatever stage you are in your life, being a researcher, owning it is one of those important things, that whatever the results come out, it is me who's responsible for it. And if I'm facing some challenges, it is again on to me that either I seek for help or I troubleshoot it by myself or using the technology. Because now this is the era where you can talk to any scientist globally in any given point of time, which was not possible just 20 years ago, when people used to send those printed or typed manuscripts, wait for months, sometimes year to hear back. But now, thank God to this technology boom, that we can do everything almost in real time. So you also mentioned about, doing your homework, that whatever is required before answering a question or developing or writing a grant also. So what you can suggest to our early career fellows who are just either in the process of transitioning from postdoc to faculty or already are starting their labs, what they should do?
Uh, if any candidate have finished his or her PhD, and they have to decide that what is their long-term goal, or they want to do academics, or they want to do the any industry jobs, or they want to do their own some kind of work, or they want to start their lab or any other business as well. So if anyone has decided that he or she is interested in academics, So in my understanding, it is good to start early. Means if you have decided that you should go for the academics, then after PhD, you have to start looking for the opportunity in the academics. In my opinion, it is not good to do a postdoc or to do any kind of the other experiences, because ultimately you have to come back to that path only. So it is always good, and the relevant experience is always important. For example, if any candidate is interested in academics and they want to do some kind of the business experience before starting the academic journey. So because when the time passes, for example, I done my BSc in the life sciences, but the main learning I have with me of the life sciences, but I don't remember now that what are those textbook principles or the fundamentals. If any I have to give the exam today, I will be failed with the 0 marks. But I have taken the learnings from my past education. So when you pass the time with certain things, you gain those learnings with you and you forget the earlier ones. So in that perspective, the experience matters. So it is not always advisable to do the certain different things when you have decided that what you are going to do.
Absolutely. I think this is very important to have that skill set. If we started from that, what are the skill sets you need? And then now, the experience, the relevant experience is so important that if you know that what is the path you want to take after your PhD, then you build on those skill sets and develop yourself as researchers so that you can try to avoid most of those hurdles which are there always in research. But again, one more important point is like you have this clarity in your mind what you want to do with your PhD, and then what all it takes. If you can assume and foresee that, you can prepare yourself better to avoid most of it. But as we all know, that still research tests you. Were there any times, Dr. Ashok, where you felt disheartened and were thinking that, okay, I think I should not do this anymore?
During PhD journey, I there was one moment then when I have communicated one paper. In my PhD time, I have taken the permission from my guide that kindly give me permission to communicate all the publications as a corresponding author, and he was kind enough and give me permission. So because I want to experience that process, I want to experience that process in early time, because when you are a student, so always the your guides or advisor, they help you to in the communication process. And but I want to learn it early, so I have taken the permission. So the first paper took almost 1 year, and after 3 revisions, it was rejected.
Okay.
Uh, so it was a very tough condition for me because I was waiting for that. And when you have done the first revision, or even when you have got the revision, first revision, uh, every author is hopeful that then now the revision has arrived. So we are 50% done. So we will do the revisions and get it accepted. And after that, second revision, then third revision, and after 1 year, it was rejected. So at that time, I was doing two things. One is writing the thesis, and half time was on the waiting. It's a always you have. I haven't down the that tab from my computer for almost that whole time period, because I don't want to lose a single day. so that whenever I get the communications, I'll do it quickly and I'll proceed further. And after 2 or 3 years, I got to know that why it was rejected. When you are acting as a reviewer, and after certain times you get to know. So my mistake was because in the review process, it is not always necessary that you get the reviewer of the same field so that they can get the exact understanding or the information. Sometimes we may have the interdisciplinary people around us. So I come to the learning. So the learning was, if the reviewer has suggested to do any changes and or editor has suggested to do any changes, and if those changes are not going to affect the information which we are presented in the paper, which are not going to change your message, do it without any kind of defense. So maybe I have defended certain things which needs to be changed. I thought that these are these must be in this format only, but I was wrong. And after that, it was a great learning with me. I do all the changes. I see only one thing. Is it going to change my communication? Is it going to change my message? No. Then, irrespective of any things, I do the changes. After that, it was a almost more than 10 years, or expect almost 10 years. I never got a rejection after the first revision.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's good. So here we have 2 points for all our audiences that Dr. Ashok just now shared. Sometimes your reviewers might not be experts in your field, which is rare but happens. We all know that. So you don't have to address anything and everything. Sometimes, like most of the things, let's say, like you don't have to address everything they say for you to either performing experiments or do a different analysis because they are not the expert in your field, whereas you are growing. If you are a PhD student, you know a lot more about your subject than most of the world outside in general, public included. And then sometimes when you see that these are the integral questions which will enhance the quality of your work, that's when you should take upon it and then work accordingly. And this is the first part. The second part is, if you will start early, as Dr. Ashok mentioned, about the process of reviewing, you can ask your professors if you can help or contribute in their reviewing process because they receive these emails every day. And then you can learn that what are the things which you as a reviewer now can add while you are writing a paper or a manuscript. When you're drafting it, now you already have this edge that what can be the possible questions which you can already address. There will be again more questions because there are people who are in the field for a longer time. So that's a different part. But having this skill set when you are doing your PhD or at your early career of research, it is beneficial. As Dr. Ashok mentioned, that after that first rejection of three, after 3 revisions, then the paper got rejected. And after that, you have never experienced anything similar because you have learned your lessons quite well. Now, walking towards the edge of the conversation, I would like to know that you got good mentors and good support from your lab members. Now, when you take up the PhD students, how do you decide that one is a good fit for your lab or group, whereas one is not?
Because I always got a great support from the people who are around me. starting from my student life to then I was in the professional life, and I was doing job in the industry. Actually, in the industry as well, I was we can say the seniors were the kind of the teachers for us, because they trained us in a hard way. And in now also, when I think about any student which are we thought that they must be a part of our research group. So the students apply, and we go for a interview process. Or so I personally I consider one thing, that the academically the every student who is going to apply and they are having the minimum criteria fulfilled, so they are good in academics. But I need a good personal trait, that is the student who has a good intention, or they have the ability that I can train them. Means I need a trainable student. So if any student with a average academic background, and if he or she is trainable, so it is good for, or I can think that this candidate is good for my group.
That's a good way to approach it, because we have seen this in recent years when students claim that they know everything, which is not true most of the time when it comes to hardcore research. And that's why the PhD is a process that they have to learn it. And if you cannot train a person, it is impossible to help themselves also, and for the group too. You have to see those things. Now, then, after having all those things met, now you and a new PhD student came together, and now you both agree that, okay, let's move ahead. Were there any times when a student A have to take a step back and then they opted out? Because this is what thing which we are seeing in India, like PhD students are giving up on their PhD after 3 years, 4 years, even sometimes 5 years of their research work, where they could have been already graduated, but because of different things, they are taking their step back and giving up on the PhD hopes. If anything happened like that, or you might know a situation, incidents where people have done that.
In I will start from another point. So in my opinion, that research is a process, or research is a subject area which can be learned, and we can train the people that how to do the research. So sometimes the people think that you have done some research on a certain domain in your masters, then in your PhD, so you can do only research, or you can think only in that area. So that happens because they may have not understood the research process, or they limited themselves within that area. I worked on a research topic in my masters that was from a different domains, and the PhD research were different. Then after PhD, when I was in the university, then my students have done the research on the different area. And even to the PhD student, I make them understand that I want to make you learn that how to do the research. I want to make you the independent researcher. We will work on the plan, we will work on the proposal, then without my help, you will go till the end. And after the PhD journey, you will be an independent researcher. You can think on any problem, you will plan, you will make the experimental design, you will collect the data, and you will finish the problem. So research is not like that. That I have done the research on the cereal products, so I will be limited on the those. So I make student understand that it's a process. There are some techniques, and there are some things or skill set required, you have to learn those, and you can plan your proposal on any problem if you will learn these things. Otherwise, if you will get a ready plan, if you will work on my already available projects, so you will not understand that how I have designed this, how the objectives were made, how we have written the gap area, or how we have expected the deliverables from that problem. So in my way, we must make them understand that research is a process and we have to follow certain things, and ultimately the student will learn after certain times. And the student who left in between, so maybe in my opinion, they may not be working on the research process. They may be forced to do certain limited things, or they may be failed to prove themselves that they can plan the research proposal, or they can plan the any new idea, because there may be certain limitations of
All
each and every candidate.
No, that's so true. And with this, we'll say to all the audience that if you want to write to Dr. Ashok, you can write directly to him. If you want STEM for Society to bridge this gap between you and the researcher celebrities, we are there to help you all. The only thing which we want from you is your dedication, your passion for research. If research happens to be the things which makes you happy, we are here to help. And with this, we'll say thank you so much, Dr. Ashok, for sharing the wonderful journey and the challenges and how to navigate them, training the new generation of independent researchers. Thank you for everything.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And for all the audience, I will say stay tuned for another episode of Researcher Celebrity.